Hi, this is Tony Wade, the Compassionate Investor, and I'm going to tell you right now, I need you to stop focusing on the wrong thing. Because many of you are focusing on getting rich. And I'm not going to sit here and lie. Riches are wonderful because it provides the things that you need to have to be able to enjoy your life. But when you focus on getting rich, you lose everything else. So I'm gonna share with you 5 steps, 5 critical things, not necessarily steps, that you can do to get you in a position where you're getting everything that you want, including riches. So I want you to listen very carefully to these 5 things, but this first one and this 5th one are powerful, but they all work together. So stay with me. Because the first one that I need you to do, instead of focusing on riches, you need to focus on God. He is the right thing. When we talk about focusing on the right thing, He is the only way in which you can acquire the things that you want. Because money can't be your focus. When He is your focus, He starts to uncover things in you that you didn't even know existed. He'll show you the things that are there, the things you're passionate about, the things that you're excited about. He'll show you all of that stuff, but then He's going to start showing you other things about you. And when you focus on Him on a daily basis, a daily walk with Him, I'm telling you, He's going to blow your mind. Now, I'm going to say this because many people are like, oh, we're not here to talk about God. But without Him, we have nothing else. So knowing first to not focus on riches, but focus on God, you're going to set yourself in a place that no matter what happens, you got it. Because you have to understand, your Heavenly Father desires that you have a relationship with Him. And He desires to show you that path. He says in His word in Psalms, I think it's Psalms 119, that the word is going to direct. It'll actually is a lamp unto your feet and a light unto your path. So the more you build a relationship with Him, you get into His word, your path is going to be clear. Like, who wants to sit and struggle through life not knowing the path that you're going to go on? Like, if you're trying to go to California and you're in New York, you could just jump on the road and start driving. You might end up there, you might not. And some people have wound up where they needed to be, which is wonderful. But if you can have a path that's actually fully laid out for you, how to get from point A to point B, if you want to get riches, who better to show you how to do that than the one who owns it all? So when you focus on Him, everything else is going to be made clear to you. Is it going to happen overnight? No, because it's a relationship. As you focus on building a relationship with God, He will start showing you who you are. As you start pulling off the things about yourself that don't line up with the things that He desires. Because at the end of the day, we all are here for a purpose. We're not here just to be born and to die. God has a desire for you to have it done in that time that your life is here. So if you're out doing all the other things and not being on that path, you're like the children of Israel out in the wilderness for 40 years. I think that they said that they could have gone where they were from point A to point B in 9 days, but it took them 40 years. So don't take years learning who you are and why you're here, because you don't have to go that path. You truly can get into a space where you can fully know who you are and where you're going and why you're here. And the only way you're going to find that is through Him. So that's why I tell people that should be your focus. Don't focus on riches, even though they're wonderful. Focus on Him, because He's going to bring you riches and He's going to bring you everything that you desire. And once you honor Him first, because He says in all your ways, honor Him, and He will direct thy path. Like, that's what you want. So give Him the reverence that He's due. Focus on Him. Make Him a part of your life on a daily basis. You do that first and foremost. That is the first thing you must do to get what you want. And if riches is what you want, and as well as other things, that's where you start first. So as you're in that space, he will then begin to start showing you who you are and what you are and why you're here. That's why the second thing you must do is discover your purpose. Because without your purpose, like I said about the 40 years, like you need to make sure that you know why you're here. Because God put gifts in all of us. He put little things different. Like I'm different than you, you different than me. Okay? So if we know that for a fact, and we know that I'm here for a specific purpose, these are the gifts he gave me. And some of our gifts may overlap, but these are my gifts. But as I build a relationship with him and I then begin to discover my purpose, I'm now in a place where I'm fully operating the way God had designed me. And my desire every day is to be better every day. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. And I will never say that I am. So as you move into that space, though, and you allow God to show you and show you your purpose, now you can then fully get into where he has you. So as you are discovering your purpose and fine-tuning like the things that you're really good at, like he started showing me a long time ago the gifts he placed in me. I've been an educator my entire life. I've taught since I was little. I think as I was 15, getting to know the Lord, he had me teaching the youth at our church. I then went into teaching. Like that is my core passion, is teaching. And because I saw the impact that it could have on others, and I was all about impacting others. But he gave me other stuff too. I love real estate. I mean, I really love real estate. The more I can learn about it, the better. I love learning the different strategies. I know all the strategies, how to implement them. Like those are the things I'm passionate about. So he started just showing me all the things that I'm good at, right? And as I started identifying the things that I was good at, and then the place where I'm at now, that was when I started seeing, oh, okay, now I see how that's sort of connected, right? So I was able to make connections and not be like all over the place. Because like when we were in real estate, we did it all, from wholesaling, we did subject twos, we did a flip. Oh my gosh, I told y'all stories about that. But I did a lot in real estate. But I wasn't passionate about flipping homes. I don't like flipping homes. I know about it, but I hate them. Well, they have their purpose, right? But he starts showing me the work that I start doing and how I start impacting others, and how I took my training and took my real estate and brought them together. And so I was able to like build my purpose, right? So as you're thinking about, well, what is my purpose? He'll reveal it to you. He'll start showing it to you. He'll start showing you the things that you like, the things that you don't like. He'll start showing what you could do all day, every day. And that's where you need to be. When you can do something all day, every day, regardless of whether you made money, that's it. So once you know what that is, because he'll start showing you ways in which you can then take that and monetize it. So when you build a relationship with him, focus on the right thing, which is having that relationship so that he can then show you your purpose. You are now in that space where now you're discovering what it is. You can actually say, okay, this is how it works. And that is your thing. So as you identify your thing and you get into a space where you know who you are and why you're here. Now, I'm going to say this part too. So, because I wouldn't necessarily say that this is it and the end all, because I believe you evolve, you grow. And if you can think about the parable about the talents, like God gives some one, some several. He has no respect to persons. He just put stuff in all of us, right? So as you start identifying those talents in yourself that come out, guess what happens in those talents? Then more seeds start, or more branches and leaves start coming off. Like it multiplies. So as it multiplies, then other things start developing. So where today, this is my space, and I'm really desiring teaching and doing all these wonderful things, other things are going to branch off of that. So you just need to know what your core purpose is. Like, what is it that you do? Because God is going to then start it's going to start blossoming exactly the way that you want it to blossom. So I just need you to identify really what your purpose is. Like, where is it? What's your passion, your purpose, and getting into that space. That's the second thing. Now, the third thing, as you start identifying that, you must create a plan. Like, you have to have a plan to get there. Going back to, if I'm trying to go from New York to California, what does that path look like? So as you start identifying what it is about you, what it is that you're purposed for here, what does that plan look like? So I have this saying where I've always said, if you what's the saying again? If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That's the saying. Because if you don't have a plan, you're planning to fail. You can't just jump out there and throw stuff on the wall and hope that it hits. You have to have a plan. And those of you who follow me and you see, I'm always talking about planning. Like I plan everything. I have everything planned to the letter. So I want to tell you that you must create a plan to get you where you want to go. So as you then create that plan, there's a way you can do that. You can do that either, and it just depends on the purpose and the passion that you have, because I've done them both. I've done a 2 to 3 year plan. I've done a 3 to 5 year plan. And mostly your 2 to 3 year plan are those things, let's say that you haven't fully identified some things, or in the industry that you're in, it could shift in a 2 to 3 year period. Like when COVID happened, everybody had to learn how to pivot, right? But you need to think about the industry that you're in and how volatile it is, how often it changes, because those are the type of things you probably not do a full 5 year plan. You'll do like a 2 to 3 year plan. So as you create that 2 to 3 year plan, okay, in 1 to 2 years, this is where I want to be, or 2 to 3 years, this is where I want to be, versus a larger scale. I would do a larger plan as I grow and get bigger. Like right now, I've got a 5 year plan with where I'm going, because we're building on top of what we already have. Where if I were new, I probably would just do a 2 to 3 year plan, depending on what the industry is. And as you create that plan, you have to create goals for that plan. So I always tell people, whatever your goal is, let's say that you identified 4 or 5 different things that you need to do, some goals that you wanted to reach. You need to make sure that those goals are SMART, is what they call them: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. So as long as you can get, as you're creating your plan, you identify the goals that you want to get to, then as you create that goal, what is it that you're doing that makes sure it's specific, that you can measure it, that it is something that's attainable within that timeline, it's relevant to the work that you're doing, and that it's timely. So as you are doing those things and you're creating SMART goals, that's when you then will create plans to make sure that those things happen. So for instance, if you have a desire to have a brick and mortar in the second year, or let's just say the first year, then what are the specific things you're going to do in this 30-day window, this 60-day window, and this 90-day window that's going to help you achieve that goal? And you constantly do that. We are constantly creating a 30, 60, 90 plan just to make sure we're getting to those goals. Because once you hit those markers, you are actually following a plan. So I'll say this too, because you have to be flexible as you're creating the plan. Because as I said before, some things shift, some things change, right? So you want to be flexible and be able to pivot. Because when COVID happened, a lot of people had to learn how to pivot. They had to learn how to do something different and unique. I had to learn how to do something different and unique. I had done properties for so long. And then as COVID happened, we needed to figure out how do we make sure that the streams that we had coming in still were working, and that we then could potentially go somewhere else. So that's when we ended up doing the shelters. We helped with homeless shelters during COVID because there was a need, and my heart always wanted to see how I can be of service. So that's how I pivoted. So you'll need to know As you create a plan, don't make it rigid to where you won't change it, because things do change, but you have to learn how to be flexible and shift things. So that is the third thing that I would say to focus on as you're moving through. Now, the fourth one is so they're all sort of like stepping stones. This fourth thing I want you to focus on is to stay focused and disciplined. And I say this because many times when you finally get into a place where, okay, you know your plan, you know all these directions, and you're ready to move forward, staying focused on that, like laser focused, like tunnel vision. You have to stay tunnel visioned on what it is that you're building, and disciplined. So I'm going to sort of take those in two parts, because when we talk about staying focused, there are so many things that are going to distract you. I'm just telling you, they're going to, especially because there's so much out there that's saying, hey, to get rich, do this. Hey, to get rich, to do that. Hey, you want wealth, do this. Those are what I call distractions. Not that they're not good, but they take you away from where you should be staying. Perfect example, and I've got so many. When my husband and I started working in real estate, we were like, we were loving everything we were hearing, right? And the first thing we did was wholesaling, because wholesaling was what was very profitable immediately off the bat. And then all of a sudden, something else was thrown in, and we were learning lease options. And next thing you know, do lease options. That'll be the best thing. You're going to get wealthy rich off of that. We was like, lease options. So then we started looking at lease options. And then next thing you know, we're like, okay, lease options. Now you're looking at this and that. And you're like, and we just start jumping from one shiny object to the next, right? And please learn from my mistakes, please, because it's you will grow if you learn from other people's mistakes. Because like we were getting distracted, and I believe through those distractions, it made our trajectory slower, where if we had stayed focused on what it was that we needed to do, we would not probably be, if we'd stayed focused, we would be further along in our journey, I believe, if we had stayed focused on one other thing. But I will also say, as a side note, not that it was, because we really didn't know, that wasn't our thing. Like wholesaling was not our thing. It wasn't something I was passionate about. But as we started getting into the space and doing housing that was helping others, that's when I knew this is what I was passionate about. So I will say, as you stay focused, you just have to make sure you're focused on your passion and your purpose. Because if you're not focused in your passion and your purpose, then those distractions are going to come. So I would say continue down the journey of knowing what your passion and purpose is. But then as you start identifying what it is, then stay laser focused on that. Because had we stayed in that, because we weren't in our passion and purpose when we were wholesaling and we started doing lease options. But lease options then taught me how to work with people who were underserved, who had credit issues. And then I started liking that. So it took me down a path to where I fully was like engaged with where my heart was at. And then now I've been doing this work. You couldn't distract me for anything in the world as it relates to real estate into something else. Because there's all these other things that are popping up. Yeah, been there, done that. But I still have to stay laser focused on what we're building. And then only the things that I build on can I expand on. And let me, before we jump into being disciplined, say this one other piece about focus. Because as you start building in your business, in a space where you're passionate about, you want to make sure that you are building that up really well, like to the point where it is bringing you in the money that you needed to bring in before you think about branching off into other things that are in that work. For example, we have been doing this type of transitional housing for a very long time, and very profitable to where it was impacting our household. So we were able to then branch off and do other things that stemmed off of that. So that's a difference. We weren't distracted. We just did things that were relevant to that work. And we were able to open up into some other areas that weren't necessarily specific to what we built, but we could still do both. It wasn't taking us away so much from what it was that we have to do. So the point I want to make with this is, as you start growing and you've monetized your passion and purpose, you will then see other opportunities that will open up, that will bring you in additional revenue, which you should be doing because that's a part of growing. And you want to make sure that if you were to branch off into something else that might be different than what you have been building, like if, because I'll just tell you, there's other things that we do. Not all of them have been perfect because but we were able to still stay stable with what we have built because that was solid. So I just want you to make sure as you stay focused in this area that you're passionate about and you have purpose in, until you are very well profitable and solid before you start entering into other spaces. So now let's talk a little bit about discipline, because staying focused and staying disciplined are hand in hand. And when I say disciplined, I think about whatever you say. So for instance, we were talking before about your plan. If you have a plan, but your schedule has nothing on it, then you are not, it's hard to stay disciplined without time blocking and doing things that keep you disciplined. Perfect example, like I'm an avid, my calendar, if you were to see my calendar right now, it is fully blocked. I time block diligently. I used to talk about it a lot, but never really did it. I knew it was important, but it wasn't there like I wanted it to be. And it was only until I started literally putting things on my calendar and saying, this is on my calendar to do during this time. And it's specific to this particular goal that I've got, and I've built that in 2-hour window, 3-hour window, but it's built in on my calendar, right? So that is the discipline of time blocking, making sure it gets on your calendar, okay? So once again, we're still staying disciplined, staying focused and staying disciplined in what it is that we are to be doing. So I'm very diligent in making sure that it's on my calendar. If it's not on my calendar, it does not exist. So I schedule out everything from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep. Now, does some things shift in there? Yeah. So like where I have me time built in, because I build my me time in. Does that change a little bit where it might be an extra hour or I might go to bed later? But yeah, those things change. But the other stuff, you need to be diligent on all the schedule, all of the appointments that you have, meetings that you have, having those on your calendar because it keeps you focused. And as you are disciplined when it comes to your calendar, because if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist, you will then start seeing the fruit of everything that you're building showing up. So you're meeting those things, those deliverables you're saying in this plan that you created. Like I literally take whatever my plan is built into my schedule. Now, this is the part that a lot of people have difficulty with. And that is being held accountable to that schedule. So, and I'm guilty at times. It was only now lately that I'm recognizing the importance of a mentor or someone to hold me accountable, because that is where your calendar comes alive. Like there has to be consequences when you don't do what you're supposed to do in your calendar, because it's going to show up. And if you are diligent and you are determined to make sure your plan works, then you have to hold yourself accountable. Somebody has to hold you accountable, and there must be consequences for when you don't do it. Like I've got built in right now, working out. And that's why you see right now, I just finished working out. But if you have it on your calendar that you're going to work out 3 to 5 days a week, and it's on your calendar, then you honor that. And when you don't honor that, what is the consequence? So, and I'm just telling you, mine is changing and evolving. My consequence when I don't honor it is I have to double it up. I ain't trying to do a workout twice. I'm not trying to do that. Or my son and and you have to be creative with how you hold yourself accountable. My son is like an accountability partner for me. I'm an accountability partner for him. When he doesn't do what he's supposed to do, what's the consequence? So you have to be disciplined in what it is that you say you're going to do. And if you don't do it, what is the consequence? So that is critical to moving forward and building something that's phenomenal, is building those habits, learning how to stay focused and learning how to be disciplined in what it is that you do. Now, this last one is just as important as all of the other ones that I named here. And I saved it for last. And before I get into it, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe below. So whenever a new video comes out, you will be alerted to when I've got something more I want to share with you. But this last point is one of the most important, up there with the first one. And that is that you must protect your mindset. And this here is done several different ways. Because if you understand what is in your mind, thoughts are in your mind, they are things. So as long as you know that for a fact, and most people, whether you believe the law of attraction or not, they are things. And those thoughts as things impact the way you see yourself. So the things that you speak, all of those things are related even to your mindset, because the things that are in your mind, when you speak it, then starts feeding your mind. So if you understand thoughts are things, you must do everything you can to protect it. And I'm not an expert still to this day. You are always going to be perfecting this to where you are protecting what you say. They say that there's power in the tongue. So I'm very careful in what I say out loud. You will never hear me. I'm not even going to say that, because there are times when I have, and I quickly correct it. You need to watch what you say about money as it speaks to who you are, how you see yourself. Because if you don't see yourself as a powerhouse, then you speak all negativity, then that's what you're going to receive, is that negative. I'm very careful in watching what I say. And it's not perfect, as I said, but I'm constantly working on what I say. And to the point where even my son, he'll correct me. If I say something wrong, my son will jump in. Oh, yeah, you're right, baby. And I have to quickly shift, get it out, and correct it. So being careful of what you speak with your tongue, because that impacts your mindset, how you see yourself. I'm very diligent in protecting my mindset through what I say, what I think, what I listen to. Hello, somebody. People don't want to hear, well, it's okay to listen to that. No, it's not. Because what are you feeding? You have to be careful of what you're feeding, protecting your mindset. What are you watching on TV? You have to put some things in place to restrict the things that you don't want coming into your spirit. Because once you understand that we are impacted by everything that's surrounding us, you have a responsibility to protect your mindset. Another thing, as you look at mindset, I'm going to say it. Who do you hang around with? Who do you hang around with? Who's your inner circle? Because whoever's your inner circle, that's who's feeding your mind. What do y'all talk about when y'all together? Okay? Because those are the things that impact your mindset. Do everything you can to protect it from those things that take you away from where God has you. So when you spend time with people who are toxic, all they talk about is negativity. They talk about what ain't working right. They talk about how bad they feel. Oh, you need to pull that toxic they need to pull that toxic person out of your relationship. Doesn't mean you don't love them. You can still love and pray for them, but you got to protect your energy. You have to protect your mindset and everything around you. And sometimes it involves removing toxic relationships. People who they're just negative, or they're hateful, or they're hurt. Now, I'm very careful because I pray for people who are hurt on a regular basis. I'm still hurt. I'm healing. I'm in the process of healing on a daily basis. We all are. So hurt people hurt people. So if you're around people who are hurt all the time and their negativity starts feeding onto you or impacting you, or heaven forbid, they look at you, they're jealous, then they start attacking you for no reason. Those are the things you have to protect yourself from. You pray for them. I pray for those who are out here to hurt me and say negative things about me. I'm praying on a daily basis because I want to be a better version of me every day. I represent him. So if I represent him, I can't come out here hateful against you because you attacking me. I can't do that. I have to pray for you. And I have to kneel. If I did something wrong, Father, forgive me. Those are the things I do on a regular basis. I'm protecting my mindset. I'm protecting myself. I'm insulating myself from that negative stuff that's coming in. So you spend a lot of time protecting your mindset, even in the word. You have to do that. So doing the necessary things to protect your mindset and get you to a place where you can fully be everything that God calls you to be, that is powerful. And the one last thing I'll mention, there's so much I could talk in this space, because this here is at least a series by itself, because there's so many layers. But it's important that you are protecting your mindset. One other thing that I'll say, because the best way I have found to protect my mindset outside of prayer and meditation and seeking guidance from God is with the people who are around me. And it's important to have that circle of friends and a mentor who is there to help guide you. You always want to surround yourself with other positive people who represent who you are. When you do that, you can fully continue to move down that path that God desires you to be in. He will show you ways in which you can be of service to even them, and they then of them being of service to you. You feed each other. So it's important that the relationships that you're creating out here are relationships that serve not only them, but you. You're looking at, how can I be of service to you? And you're sincerely wanting to help them, and they too have that same servitude in them that they want to help you. They don't want to tear you down. They want to help you. Those are the people you need to surround yourself with. And then those who mentor you. There are people, new people I've brought into my world, and I continually bring in a new person every day because someone brings something exciting and new. But as you bring more people in who are like-minded like you, who want to help lift you up, they become your mentors. They're the ones pouring into you and giving you the things to help elevate you to the next level. Because that's what we're all here for, is to fulfill the purpose that God has given you to be able to execute during the life that you're here. And as you do that work and start giving back to Him, you are fully edifying the kingdom and building up and helping those who also want to heal. Because we all are hurt. We're all hurting. But we can stay in that and impact others in a negative way, or we can heal and be able to impact the world in such a powerful way. So I hope that these 5 key things that you can focus on will help get you to the next level of where you want to go. And it truly will help you get what it is that you want, if that is getting rich. But stop focusing on getting rich. Focus on being the best version that you can be, that God created you to be, so that you can ultimately impact others. Because I'm a firm believer that when you transform your life so that you are transformed, you can then transform the world.